Welcome to my new edition of Set Etiquette for new and up-and-coming makeup artists. Hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. Hello, my makeup friends and my filmmakers. I'm Melanie Sleep, Toronto-based makeup artist. I've been in the industry for 23 years now, and I thought it's time that I put together a little video about set etiquette. Why, you may ask? Well, I now have the opportunity to mentor some younger upcoming makeup artists who are absolutely brilliant, but when they get to set, they are completely lost. I'm not sure if they're not being taught properly in school, but it doesn't really matter because we're here to teach them. Okay, so I'm a little bit blind, so I may have to go and put my glasses on and off, and I am going to read off because I do have a lengthy set etiquette rules that are do's and don'ts that I think everybody will appreciate, and even some of us need a refresher. Okay, so in no particular order, I am going to say do not be late, period. If you run into an accident or something really major has happened, it's okay, things happen. Call your department head or call an AD, let them know how long you're gonna be, let them know what's happened, and they can arrange and change their day accordingly, so nobody is being held up. Very, very important. Never be afraid to call. Okay, show up 15 to 30 minutes early. Why? So you know where to park, you know where base camp is, you know where background holding is, you know where you need to be, and you've given yourself enough time. And this will give you time to have breakfast and have a nice relaxing cup of tea or coffee before your day starts. Read the call sheet from top to bottom. Understand what the call sheet means, understand what the maps are, understand what the lingo is. You never want to get to set unprepared and showing up at the wrong place and the wrong call time. Know where base camp is and where you need to load in is another important thing. Know beforehand where you need to report to. So I always suggest if you have your department heads or their assistants' email or phone number, fire off a message, fire off a text. Someone will get back to you and they will let you know where you need to report to. Prep your set bag. You never want to show up to set unprepared. It's unprofessional, and that actually doesn't look so great on you as an artist. That means that you don't take the job seriously and you haven't taken the time to understand what the day entails for you. Don't hesitate to ask questions. If you do not understand something or you do not know, ask. You're only embarrassing yourself if you show up to set and you do something that is not what's to be asked of you, and then it costs more money and time and frustration to try and fix it. So always ask and never be afraid. Okay, always ask your department head if there's anything special that you need in your bag, in your kit, in your set bag for that day. She will tell you, and if there's anything specific that you need, he or she will actually supply it for you. If you're asked to do something that you don't want to do or you do not think is right or appropriate, or you've been put in a situation that is not okay, you need to stop immediately and speak to somebody. Never feel like you're being put in a situation that you should not be in. It's very important. You have a voice. You need to speak up. Okay, make sure your kit and set bag is 100% COVID-free. If you can believe it, I'm still seeing makeup artists use their back of their hand to warm up makeup. Stop. Please do not do that. Yes, it's a habit. Yes, we are creatures of habits, but we need to stop doing that. It's very, very unsanitary, and it's very, very important. We have many options. We have the sticky patches that can go on the palm of your hand. We have the pawpaw. There's many options. So you do not need to do that. Stop doing that. Okay. Everyone must have their own set brushes. Everyone must have their own set bag. Your actors need to have everything that's sterilized, clean, and organized. All your disposables have to be packaged properly, no double dipping, and making sure that your station is clean. Clean, clean, clean. Good hygiene is a must. And that means, you know, your body odor, your nails, your hair, your skin, your clothing, you need to have good hygiene. Okay, be sure to pack outdoor clothing. Be prepared. The call sheet may not say that you're shooting outside, there may not be an exterior, but things change on the day. I always have a bag packed in my car. So if it's winter gear, umbrellas, water, rain gear, whatever you need, make sure it's packed. Remember your set chair. There can be opportunities where you can take a lunchroom chair, but I highly recommend that you do not do that, especially during COVID. Bring your own set chair. While you're on set, it's in your best interest to stay off your cell phone. I've seen many junior artists come in and they're on their phone all day long. When I started out, of course, we didn't have the cell phone on set like we do now, but I always suggest students that come to see me, ask me questions. I will break down a call sheet for you. I will break down a script for you. Somebody always has something that they can teach you. Stay off your phone. It never looks good. And if you want to come back, being on your phone all day is not the right place to be. Okay, no open toe shoes. We all know that. There's some call sheets that will say you need closed toe shoes. Make sure you understand what that is. And steel toe shoes, I should say. Make sure you have them. And if you don't, you need to go out and invest in them. Your kit is your investment, and that's more important than actually knowing how to, knowing the quality of makeup. As long as you are prepared, you're better off. Do not plug your phone in anywhere on set unless you have spoken to electrics. If your phone is plugged in somewhere, or you blow a fuse, or you take out a lighting, or what have you, is a big no-no, and you will not be happy with the repercussions that will come your way. So do not plug your phone in unless you have approval. Do not touch anything other than what belongs to your department. If something needs to be moved, or something is in your way, or what have you, you need to ask the appropriate department to move their belongings. Now, this also is within our department. If you are on set and you need to do a touch-up, and you find that the hair has fallen in the face, or that's the hairstyle, don't touch the hair. Ask a hair person to come in and ask them if either A, you can slightly lift it up, or if they wouldn't mind assisting you. You never want to assume that you can move the hair and put it back where you thought it was. Photos. I see it all of the time. Do not take photos unless you are asked. Period. You never want to be put in a situation where you've taken a photo and you have posted it or what have you, and the repercussions that come back on you are not so great. Okay, no talking on set, even when the camera is not rolling, because sometimes in between roles, the producers, directors, departments, that is their time to correct and fix what they are going to be shooting. So if everybody is chatting, nobody's able to focus. So try to keep your talk to a minimum unless you're spoken to by your department head or your assistant. If you have a problem with someone on set, do not argue with them in front of anybody. Always be mindful of your surroundings and take the conversation outside. Ask your department head or their assistant ask your department head or their assistant where the best place for you to be sitting on set is. Remember, you are to sit behind the first team, so your makeup head, your assistant, and never stand in front of a monitor. The monitor is not for us unless you are asked to watch. Okay. If you are, I already said that, if you're required to do touch-ups on set, do not walk in front of the camera. Even if the camera is not rolling, a lot of times our camera department and the lighting people use that time to readjust their shot. So at that time, they can be looking through their camera and getting their angles and their shot down to perfection, and then you've just crossed their camera. If you need to cross their camera, it's always safe and in your best interest to say crossing or ask if you're able to cross at that time. The cameraman will respect you 100% and will be very grateful that you've done so. If you are required to take photos on set for continuity, take the photos, send them off to who is wanting to receive them. That's the assistant, the key, the HOD. And as soon as they've confirmed receipt that they have received the photos, delete the photos from your phone. You never want to be caught by accident, because sometimes it happens, with photos that do not belong to you. When doing touch-ups on set, if you can always do them there with the lighting and proper lighting, that's your best option. Because if you take them off set and you don't have proper lighting, you may have changed the look, and then when you get them back in front of the camera and the lighting, the makeup looks different, and you will have to then take them back off and retouch them up, and it takes time and money to do that. There may be times when you have processed your talent in the trailer or in the makeup room or hallway, wherever you may be at that point. If the lighting is not set up in your room the way it should be or the way it is on set, the look and color of the talent may shift a little bit. So always ask for camera looks if you have the time to do so. Get the talent in front of the camera, do a look over just to make sure that the color hasn't shifted and that red is the way you want it to look, the skin tone hasn't shifted. And then this way you have the time to do it and you're not putting anybody behind. So ask for camera looks if possible. And I also recommend asking lighting, if you're on a bigger production, to put the same lighting in your trailer that what is in or on set, so that there is no shifting in the makeup. Never talk about conflict and drama in front of cast members. When they are sitting in your chair, it is their time. They need to focus. Sometimes they want to sleep. Sometimes they want to read their sides. They want that time for themselves. Unless, obviously, if your talent is making conversation with you, you obviously want to respond, but keep your conflict and drama to yourself. Okay. No sleeping on set. I've seen it so many times. I know we work long hours. People are dozing off, and it happens, but try and step away from set, take a glass of water, have a cup of tea, a coffee, what have you, but do not fall asleep. You do not want producers, directors, or ADs seeing our department sleeping on set. Always remain silent and out of the way. Those are my key things. Unless I'm spoken to, I try to keep quiet. I keep to myself. I do my job. And it has worked for me for the 23 years that I've been in the business. Do not brag or boast about what you can do, who you've worked on, the jobs that you're doing, or what have you. Nobody cares. You are there to do the job that you're there for at that time. Period. Dress appropriately. You're not there to impress anybody. Simple. As a daily makeup artist, do not enter the trailer or the makeup room unless you're announcing that you're entering. Knock first, and if you do have to enter up into the trailer and you have approval, always announce that you're stepping up. You never want to be the result of a talent getting poked in the eye or if the makeup artist is doing some fine details and you've just stepped up and you shaped the trailer and they've made a mistake, you never want to be in that position. Always ask what your responsibilities are for that day and the acquired look. So that if you need to do research, you need to make sure you have the right colors in your kit. It goes back to being prepared for the day. So basically, you're there to do a job and you're not there to impress anybody with your makeup skills. So when you're asked to do something, do what you're told to do and nothing more. Common sense. Always use your common sense. It goes a long, long way. Sometimes we don't understand, but common sense is your best policy. So basically, if you see, if you have a background come in and you're in a period piece and she has microbladed eyebrows or massive extension lashes or lip line tattoo or acrylic long nails but the color is not right, the shape of the nail is not right, and you can't fix those things. So what you need to do is you need to take a photo of that background or talent. You need to speak with your first aid or your AD that's taking care of background holding. You need to send that photo to them. You need to send that photo to your department head and let them make that decision. Never argue with cast or talent. It doesn't work for you. It's not your position to do that. Your department and your ADs will take care of that. Goes with men with facial hair. They will use the excuse over and over again, oh, I'm continuity for another show. Well, you shouldn't have come here if you're in a period piece and you have to shave your facial hair. So then take a photo again and send it off, and they will make that choice for you if they go home or if they stay, or we can just put them in a deep background. This is when you want to make your AD your friend for the day. As long as you guys have good communication, he will take care of you and the respect will be there. When doing background, always be mindful of tattoos and piercing and any bruising, scrapes, cuts, and cover them up prior to going to set. I've seen it happen many times. That talent shows up to set and they have a massive tattoo or a tattoo that has been seen, and that necessarily may not be your fault. Wardrobe may have changed what they were wearing, and at the time that you had seen them, it was covered. So always make sure that you try and cover every tattoo that you see, because as soon as you get them on set, if they're not done, you're going to have to do it, and it costs lots of time and money and frustration. Speak to your AD. I just said that. Send photos off to your department head. So timing. Timing is so important and you need to respect it. Time is money when you're working in film and television. If you have 50 background and you're told 5-10 minutes per person, that means 5-10 minutes. I don't want to come back in the room and see that 20 minutes later that you still have the same person in the makeup chair. It's 5-10 minutes tops. Get them in, get them out, and done. Always try to stay on time. So I've had this problem before, not necessarily as a daily, but as a makeup head. Talent has shown up in my chair late, like not 5-10 minutes, like 20 minutes late. And the problem is that it doesn't filter back to set. So when they want our talent and they haven't even come to me, I'm now putting production behind. And it always falls back in our department. So always make it very clear to the AD when that talent sits in your chair and you've set your timer. If you have 40 minutes to process them, you tell your AD through your walkie, unless they're sitting outside your door, just say, letting know talent has arrived, talent is sitting in my chair, my time starts now. You never, even though it's not your fault, it always comes back to, oh, they're still in makeup. Why are they in makeup? Why are we waiting for them? What's taking so long? So as long as you're clear with your AD, you should be okay. Oh, this is a good one. I've had this happen when I've had students come in and they've messaged me and said, I would like to come in and shadow you. And they get there and their first words that come out of their mouth are, when do I get to go home? How long will my day be? What time is wrap? We have no idea. We work in film. Our day could be 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, 24 hours. You're there and you're there. If you cannot make the day, it's best to tell your department head that you cannot come that day because you can't be fully committed to the entire day. I've also had another student come, and this is going to get to another point. Do not post pictures. Do not add a job onto your CV if you've come for one day and assume that because you're there mentoring or you've come and helped it with background that you have done work on that show. You need to ask the key and the department head if you can use that day on your CV. I've had someone reach out to me and say, oh, so-and-so has worked with you on your show, and I've never heard of that person. I even went back into my logs, and that girl never actually came on my show. So don't do it. It's not worth it. There's always repercussions that will come from that. Okay, and at another time I had a student, I asked her to simply put a fun scar on a little girl who was playing a pirate. She was a daughter of a celebrity athlete, and the dad freaked out because the makeup artist,
rigid colloidal.
If you don't know what that is, it's a very powerful chemical that creates a beautiful scar, but it's so much full of chemicals that it actually burned this little girl's skin, burnt it. So that goes back to me saying you're not there to impress anybody. I simply asked her to put on a cute little, fun little scar, and that's it. Now that girl, I had to call the school and tell them that she doesn't know how to abide by rules and that she should be educated on products and knowing that she should never have put that on a 7-year-old child, period. If for any reason you need to step off set, you need to let somebody know where you're going. You cannot just leave, you cannot just wander, because if someone's going to look for you or something's happened and your department head or the assistant needs you and you're not there, you could be fired. And you don't ever want to be put in that situation. If you need to step off to make a personal phone call, if you need to go to the washroom, if you're feeling sluggish and tired and you really need a coffee because you're on set and you need to stay awake, nobody's going to tell you no, but you just need to ask. At wrap, always ask always ask the department head or the assistant if there is anything that they would like for you to do before you wrap out. That means that they may want you to clean up set bags, they may want you to clean brushes, they may want you to do warm towels, what have you, do a makeup station for removal. Always ask out of respect. They probably will tell you no, but it's good to ask. Before wrapping, make sure that your deal memo is completely finished, your weekly is completely finished, and your daily is completely finished. Because if you do not follow all of the instructions on your deal memo, you will not get a paycheck, and we do not work for free. Okay. Okay, you are at work to work. I'm a strong believer in that. I do not make friends with people at work. We are all co-workers, we are all colleagues, we respect each other, we enjoy each other's company, but we are at work. Keep your socializing to a minimum, and you can do that after work if you want to. Do not be the problem. Always be the solution. Always be mindful. Always be respectful. Never give attitude. Try and learn any set lingo, any codes, any wording prior to coming to set. This way it'll make your day much easier and you'll understand what people are saying and you won't be confused. NDA, learn it, read it from first word to the last word. Understand it. If you don't, ask somebody else who can help you understand it. It's very, very important to understand, because as soon as you sign it and then you've gone against it, the repercussions are not good. Okay, when you're on lunch, that is your time. You owe nobody anything during lunchtime. It's your lunch. You take it however you want to take it, and you report back when your lunch is over. Now, if you have allergies, it's not your department's head or the first assistant to make food appear for you. If you haven't already communicated that prior to arriving to set, bring your own food. You want to be safe. Better safe than sorry. Do not get involved in production conversations. It's not your place. If someone has approached you and has brought something to your attention and your head or your key or your assistant is not there, respectfully decline the conversation. Make a quick phone call, send a text to them, and let them deal with it. Do not get involved. So if you are approached by somebody of another department, it's the same thing. Ask your head or their assistant to figure out the problem. Do not make small talk with production, producers, and directors. No. I've seen it happen one too many times. You're not there to smoosh. You are there to work. That makes a bigger impression than trying to make your way and swindle your way into producers and directors' minds. Don't do it. If you are unsure of something, never hesitate to ask questions. I've said that before. Okay. If you're a student have never been asked to come out for a job for experience, do not assume you can post photos. Do not assume you can add the show to your CV, and always speak to department head before doing so. I said that about entering the trailer. Had this happen to me as well. Do not steal people's photos. If you do not have the work to prove for a job that you're applying for, take the time. It doesn't have to be a professional photo, and do the job. Practice makes perfect. And if you get caught stealing somebody else's photos, you're not getting the job anyways, and that will spread like wildfire. If you're being sent, this is another one that's happened to me. In 23 years, a lot of things do happen. If you're sending somebody to do a job, if you're being sent to do a job, or vice versa, do not undercut the client. Because what's going to happen is that client, which happened to me, called me and said, just letting you know that the makeup artist that you sent me has just offered to do the day less the next time than what I had set up for her to be paid. Guess what? She won't work for me again. She'll never work for that client again. So she just burned 2 bridges, and maybe even more, because that also gets spread. Do not hand out business cards on set unless it's your job. Nobody wants somebody who is going to try and steal their clients from underneath them. Don't do it. It's a no-no unless you ask your department head and it's a talent that you've done, and you can say, they've asked me for my card, am I allowed to give it to them? And if they say yes, then so be it, but at least you've asked. Do not assume that you can just hand out your business card on a set, that it doesn't belong to you. Okay. And also, when working for another artist that sent you out on a job, and that client calls you to do the job again for them, or your response should be, thank you, is so-and-so not available? And if not, then you call the makeup artist who sent you and just say, out of respect, I just wanted to let you know that your client that I did the job for the last time has reached out to me to come and work for them again. I respect you as an artist. I just wanted you to know, and I wanted to let you know if you were okay with it and you were aware that they were calling me, period. We need to support each other. We need to respect each other. Our industry is way too big, but way too small. Do not burn bridges, which I have already said. Okay, if you are on set and you feel like you've been put in a situation that is dangerous for you as a person, dangerous to your health, dangerous because someone has sexually exploited you, verbally have said sexual things to you, cut them off. Stop what you're doing and report it. Do not think you're being a hero by ignoring it and continuing on with the day. This type of behavior needs to stop, and women need to stand, and men need to stand their ground. It happens. It happens all the time, and sadly it's happening as we speak. But don't put yourself in that situation. Call your HR, call your first AD, call your department head, and let everybody aware that this is what's happened, and they will help you and guide you with the proper, appropriate connections. Okay? And basically, that's it. At the end of the day, we all love our job and we want to work. We want to do what we like to do. It makes us happy, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Love your job and enjoy your work. I would love to hear from anybody if they would love to do a Q&A or a makeup live. If you have any questions, I would love to do that. So I'd like to hear what anybody has to say, and I would love to hear anybody's input. Don't be shy.